A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a series of statements that have raised eyebrows, former President Donald Trump has made headlines for his recent comments regarding Ukraine's military strategy against Russia. While encouraging Ukraine to ramp up its military efforts, Trump also advised Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky not to target Moscow directly. This contradiction has sparked debate among political analysts and military experts alike, as the ongoing conflict in Ukraine continues to escalate. During a press briefing on the South Lawn of the White House, Trump stated, no, he shouldn't target Moscow, when asked if Zelensky should attack the Russian capital. This statement came despite Trump previously suggesting that Kyiv should intensify its strikes deep within Russian territory, a move that some experts believe could significantly alter the dynamics of the conflict. The backdrop to Trump's comments is a recent phone call with Zelensky, where Trump reportedly questioned why Ukraine had not yet targeted Moscow to increase pressure on the Kremlin. Zelensky's response, according to sources, was that Ukraine could carry out such strikes if provided with the necessary weaponry. This exchange highlights the complex relationship between the U.S. and Ukraine, particularly in terms of military support and strategy. In light of these developments, there are discussions within the U.S. administration about sending advanced military equipment, including Tomahawk missiles, to Ukraine. These missiles were notably used in recent U.S. operations against Iran, indicating a potential escalation in U.S. involvement in the conflict. The urgency of the situation is underscored by recent Russian drone attacks on Ukraine, which have resulted in significant destruction and casualties. Ukrainian air defenses reported intercepting nearly half of the 400 drones launched by Russian forces, but the attacks still managed to hit multiple locations across the country, causing alarm among civilians and military officials alike. Moreover, the Russian military strategy appears to be evolving, as they reportedly send less trained troops to probe Ukrainian defenses before deploying more experienced units to exploit weaknesses. This tactic aims to exhaust Ukrainian forces and create openings for larger offensives, particularly in contested regions like Donetsk. Experts warn that the Russian summer offensive may intensify, putting additional pressure on Ukrainian forces. As the conflict drags on, the potential for increased use of chemical weapons by Russia has also raised concerns among international observers. European Commission officials have indicated that intelligence reports suggest Russia has used chemical weapons extensively throughout the conflict, with the aim of inflicting maximum suffering on the Ukrainian population. In response to the evolving situation, European allies are reportedly considering bolstering their military assistance to Ukraine. Countries such as Germany, Greece, and Spain are being looked at as potential contributors of Patriot missile defense systems, which are crucial for intercepting Russian attacks. However, there remains hesitation among some nations, as they prioritize their own national security needs. Trump's recent proposals have led to a complicated dynamic where he encourages European allies to supply Ukraine with military aid while simultaneously cautioning against direct attacks on Moscow. This dual approach raises questions about the effectiveness of U.S. foreign policy and its impact on the ongoing war. In a surprising twist, Melania Trump has reportedly influenced her husband's stance on the conflict. The First Lady, who has personal ties to Eastern Europe, has been vocal about the human toll of the war, prompting the former president to reconsider his position on military support for Ukraine. This insight into Melania's impact on Trump's decision-making highlights the often overlooked role of personal relationships in political discourse. Meanwhile, the situation on the ground in Ukraine remains dire. Russian forces are making slow but steady advances in the eastern Donetsk region, capturing villages and threatening key supply routes. The implications of these military maneuvers could be significant, potentially shifting the balance of power in the region. As the conflict continues, the international community watches closely. Diplomatic efforts to broker a peace deal are ongoing, but the likelihood of a resolution remains uncertain. Trump's ultimatum to Russia, demanding a peace deal within 50 days or face severe sanctions, adds another layer of complexity to the situation. Analysts suggest that this deadline may provide Russia with an opportunity to consolidate its military gains before any potential negotiations begin. In the midst of this turmoil, the appointment of Yulia Sviridenko as Ukraine's new prime minister signals a shift in leadership as the country navigates its path forward. Sviridenko, who has been instrumental in economic development, will now face the daunting challenge of leading Ukraine during one of its most critical periods in history. As the world grapples with the ramifications of this conflict, the interplay between military strategy, international diplomacy, and domestic politics will undoubtedly shape the future of Ukraine and its relationship with the United States and Europe. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.